On March 3rd, the Banning City Council rescinded the $6.9 million Prop 47 grant, less than 1 week after a public workshop on the topic. The core of the reasoning behind the rescinding of the grant presented by Mayor Flynn and the acting city manager was that 2 of the 3 subcontractors did not qualify under the grant's requirements. They repeatedly insisted that the grant agreement could not be changed. Is that true?
Pages 56 and 57 of that admin guide, they talk about how you can potentially modify the grant project or budget. So, I don't know if that needs to be done, but if there's any discrepancies or anything that you see that might be wrong with the grant or that's unclear, this might give us the avenue to go down. How can we maybe subcontract other local nonprofits or orgs that are specialized in this area or have the proper and adequate knowledge in working with the folks in the county jail in regards to modifications. These are minor changes to a grant project that do not affect the scope or objectives of a project, and they don't require amending the grant agreement, but they may include and aren't limited to modifications to the grant budget and changes in key personnel.
I just hope, at the very least, we take a little bit of time to review how we could rework this grant to make it work better for us. I agree. We should look more. There should have been an RFP, a request for a proposal, for our local organizations here, so everyone had a fair shot.
It's my understanding that we can't modify that as far as the step-up church, or the step-up and the church, that we can't swap them out for other entities.
That's my understanding too.
And also, it says in the staff report here, there is no language in the grant application process that allows for substitution of subgrantees after the agreement has been executed. And the subgrantees are the CBOs, correct?
You are correct.
So basically, you're saying that these 2 entities are not qualified to be part of this grant and that you cannot substitute them out. So basically, the grant has to be null and void.
Yes.
Well, I would like to hear that from the city attorney.
Does it say that in the report? Does it say that?
I said how I felt.
It says there's no language in the grant application process that allows for substitution of subgrantees after the agreement has been executed.
The word execution, does that mean agreed upon or actually the funding of the grant? That would be a legal question.
There is something in here that say that we could do an amendment. It has to be in writing, not verbal, with both by the parties. So still a valuable option for us to do amendment.
Have you read the actual grant that Banning submitted?
I've read portions of it, yes.
Based on your understanding, it's clear that step up is not something we can it's not a viable option at this point, but does that mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater? Or is there an option in that grant that lets us rework anything?
I don't know that I can answer that question.
One thing I was curious about, and I think it can be done, is the reworking of this grant, and the basis for that is because there are some things that have changed.
For me, it's my personal opinion, is that I think that we should give our attorney a chance to look over the whole application and also to see if there's a way that we could substitute the elements of this application. So it's a lot of questions that I still need to be answered for me.
Okay, motion passes 3-2 with Councilmember Leroy Miller and Colleen Wallace voting no.
The conclusion was foregone. Rescind the grant because some in the council and the public didn't like it, were afraid what it might mean for the city's future and blew it up into a boogeyman and presented it as such. The pretense to rescind the grant was the 2 subcontractors with questionable validity. But no real effort to determine the feasibility of replacing them was pursued by the council or city manager.